In this video, I'm going to cover part of the process of setting up commissions in EZLynx. This is a bonus video on user settings. This is to set up a couple different variations where you can pay individuals whether they are a member or not, and also reviewing what the three different options are when setting up a user as a person who will receive commission payments. So let's cover underneath manage service team first. When we're setting up our service team, if you remember, there were three different options: CSR, external, and producer, and I suggested using either CSR or producer. In this video, first part I'm going to do is I'm going to cover what the differences are on these and show you what the difference is. Now, CSR and producer handle commissions basically the same. This is more for internal, so that you just know it's a CSR or it's a producer, and that's the role that they have within inside of your agency. The other option is going to be external. External is going to create a different rule system for commissions, and will apply them differently. On this slide here, I've got basically some numbers to show you how commission is handled differently. External is using that option as an external producer. This would be a person who doesn't work for you, that may be a lead source or a external producer or something like that. And I'm going to cover what using that as a setting, how it applies to the commission rules versus a producer, whether it's a CSR or a producer. I'm going to use these words interchangeably, but that is going to be somebody that's going to be internal, and you may want to use this as an option regardless of the person actually being employed by you or being a contract producer or being just a lead source. The difference is how they apply the commission. External will reduce the total amount of commission that can be applied towards internal producers or CSRs, whereas producer will not. So in this example, in both these examples, you have a policy that has a combined total gross commission amount of $1,000. The total amount generated that should be paid to these individuals is $1,000 total. This is the total bucket. This is the gross commission that the agency is receiving. An external producer is set with a rule of 25% split. That means that they will receive $250 of that $1,000. Both of these treat that exactly the same. Next, you'll see that you have a net commission of $750, that if there's not another person receiving income from this or a split, then that $750 will go to the agency. Here is where it's different. If you have an internal producer after you have an external producer using an external producer type setting, then that internal producer will be paid 50% of the net commission and not the gross. So it would be applied against the net commission, which is $750, meaning they will receive $350, and the balance to the agency, or the net to the agency, will be $350. And that is because the internal is applied against the net, not against the gross. In another scenario, if you just list everybody as producers or CSRs, then the commission is applied a little differently. The gross is $1,000. The external gets 25%, which is $250 still. The net commission is $750. The internal producer rule, whether this is an internal producer or a CSR, will get 50% of the gross that is received, leaving a net of $250 after that. That's the difference in the application of these two, is how it applies the internal rules for internal employees. 50% of the net here, 50% of the gross here. Now, another scenario is you may have an employee or a person who receives a commission split that is not a user of EZLynx. You have two different options. Either one, you can set them up as a user, pay for the user license, and then apply rules to them, or you can set them up as a lead source. You can list people in here individually as a lead source or a business also as a lead source. To do so, you simply come over here to the little gear icon, go to Manage Lead Sources, And then in here, you will list whoever that person is as a lead source. For instance, we listed earlier John C. Smith as being a service team member, but they are not a user. So I can list them as a lead source here so that they will be able to have a rule applied against them. So John C. Smith, simply click Save, and that creates that as a lead source. Then you just need to make sure that inside the policy itself, or inside the account is a better way to say it, that account has them listed as a lead source. Then your rule would apply commission to them if they're listed as a lead source. You simply do that by coming to an account. This is a fictitious account that I have. Come to the lead info, and in here simply click on, see where it's got lead source, just simply click here and put John C. Smith as a lead source. Make sure you hit save, and then you can apply a commission rule that would apply commission to John C. Smith as a lead source regardless of who the assigned producer is here. That concludes this bonus video that covers the different sorts of ways you can pay an individual, whether they are a user or a lead source. And it also covers the 3 different options as a service team member that you can also include.